Welcome, everyone, to the Sonoma Spiel. My name is Tim with the Sonoma Valley Visitors Bureau. In ancient times, there was the Battle of Marathon, and there was this man who had to deliver the message. His name was Philippides, maybe Philippides, maybe Philippides. I don't know. It's all Greek to me. Anyway, he had to run from Marathon to Athens to tell them that they had won the battle, right? And so he's like running, and he's running, and he's running, and it turns out to be about 26 miles, and which is pretty far. And he gets there, and he delivers the message that there was victory, Nike. And then he dropped dead. And I think that was a good lesson that you probably shouldn't run too much and, overexert yourself. But there are still crazy people who do these things, and that's just part of life. Here we are, and we're recording this in January. People out there doing wellness stuff. It's the middle of the Sonoma Winter Wellness Campaign, 100 Days of Wellness. So maybe we'll indulge our crazy side a little bit and think about those runners and those people who go out and do crazy things. And the reason why I bring this up is because today I have a very special guest. Now, I know every week I say I have a very special guest, but this time I actually mean it. This time I have a very, very special guest. It's Gretchen Schoenstein from the Napa to Sonoma Half Marathon. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Good to have you here, Gretchen.
Thank you.
Did you know that the marathon started when a guy ran and then died?
I did.
And you guys celebrate that? You're so macabre. All you loony runners.
Never thought about it
Yeah,
that
you're like,
way.
hey, we got an idea. Let's reenact this guy.
It's in honor of him.
Oh, I didn't think about honor. Right back at me. Good job. So, Gretchen, you're with the full title is the Napa to Sonoma Half Marathon.
Napa to Sonoma event weekend, because
Okay.
it's actually 2 events on that whole weekend,
Oh, it is.
including the half marathon.
Got it. Okay. And that's where people run. Marathon is 26 miles?
Marathon's 26.2.
Okay.
Half marathon is 13.1.
Okay. Very good.
10K is a 6.2, and a 5K is 3.1 miles.
And how many liters? No, yeah. What? It's like throwing out these different
You're
metrics.
like, I didn't know it was a math
Yeah, it's
segment.
math thing here.
I thought we were talking running.
And so for the Napa to Sonoma Half Marathon, which I think is been going on for a couple of years,
Yes.
it's in July.
It is in July.
Typically, and
Third
people
weekend of July.
third week in July. Okay, and people start in Napa,
Yes.
and then like all good people, they get the hell out of there and they come to Sonoma.
Yes. Can we say that?
To Napa? Oh, take that, Napa. You don't like it? Get your own podcast. No. So
It is called the Sonoma Spiel.
the Sonoma Spiel.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, it's not called the Napa Nabobs. Do they have one? We're gonna find out. The Napa Nattering, the Napa whatever. So right, the Sonoma Spiel. We can talk about Sonoma.
Yes.
People run here to Sonoma.
Yes.
And it's 13.1 miles for the half marathon. And are they running through industrial wastelands and ugly urban areas, or what's it like?
It is, I think, well, not just me, but many other people. It's been voted one of the most scenic half marathons in the country.
Okay.
So there's that. So not industrial.
Right.
It starts at Cuvée in Napa County.
Got it.
So, and we run down this hill. There's a hot air balloon. It's vineyards everywhere. And then you run through the back roads, so to speak,
Okay.
of Napa County. And it's, historical landmarks, it's vineyards, it's rustic farmhouses, it's estates. It really is one of the most scenic half marathons. I've run a few.
Okay.
And I can attest to that along with all the other people who voted for it, that it is, it's gorgeous. It's rolling hills. Every time you're, I've seen all the vineyards, all of a sudden you turn a corner and there's an estate or there's this olive grove. It's beautiful. Then you get to about the 10-mile mark. You're on Denmark. You're coming into Sonoma.
Okay. And Denmark is a street. It's also a country, but here it's a street for people who
Yeah,
don't
that'd be
know.
a really long run.
That'd be a long run.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know what that would be called.
That'd be the
Extra ultra? Ultra
the
ultra.
transatlantic marathon.
And then, right around Gunlock Bunchu on Denmark is a 10-mile mark. And then you're in that last 3 miles heading into the city, come down 7th, and then the last mile, it's this fast, speedy mile onto Napa Street.
Okay.
And the finish line is the Sonoma Plaza.
The historic Sonoma Plaza.
The historic Sonoma Plaza. And then there's this fantastic wine festival
Afterwards. So people still have energy to have a wine festival.
Who doesn't want to have a glass of wine at 9:30 in the morning on a Sunday after running a half marathon?
Everybody should have one. I love
Absolutely.
that. I love that idea.
Yes.
And you've run this a few times, you said.
I have. I've run many, many half marathons.
Oh, really?
The Napa to Sonoma, I have run that, I think, maybe 6 times. So
That's a long time. I mean, that's a lot.
yes.
So, and it's been going on for over 20 years, if I recall.
It has. Last year was the 20th anniversary
Okay.
of the Napa to Sonoma Half Marathon. And then what we also have is on Saturday, we have the Rose 5K.
Okay, now I'm interested. I'm back.
Okay, right?
Tell me
It's
about that
5K,
one.
It's shorter, 3.1. You're running through these panoramic areas of downtown Sonoma.
Oh,
so
got
it
it.
starts and ends on the plaza.
Nice.
Goes up through a little bit Level Valley area, and so you still get that vineyard feel
Right.
of running, through wine country.
I love that.
And then you finish right there on the wine plaza. Actually, that kind of works.
That's legit.
Wine
I mean, there's
plaza.
tasting rooms and there's vineyards all around. And
And then, at the finish line, then you get the rosé wine tasting.
I gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
Rosé 5K, tasting wine.
I gotcha. Little pink wine there to kind of do it.
Yeah.
Are there people that do both of those events?
Yes, there are.
They
There are.
They do like a 16-mile weekend.
Yes, they do. They like Saturday's a little warm up, and then they get a little rest on Saturday night, or maybe no rest. Then they get up and
They go out and
they go out and do it again.
Um,
It's a challenge weekend. So some people take on the quote challenge. So then they get an extra medal. So you get your 5K
wait,
medal.
you get a medal if you run this thing?
Oh yeah. You get medals
Really?
for all races
Oh, okay.
at the finish line. So you cross the finish line and they give you a medal for the 5K. They give you a medal for the half marathon. If you do both, you
Are
get a
these
third
like
medal.
little janky stupid medals or are these fancy looking medals? Come on, tell me more.
Okay, so
Hold these up
speaking
to the
of
camera here.
20th,
Come on.
You've got
wow.
This was the 20th anniversary one
Okay.
from last year. So
And it's a metallic looking, almost like a
celebrated.
ticket. And it has like a middle part that spins around with a
Yes.
20 on it. And the 0 is a
Yes.
hot air balloon,
So
which
that
we see a
was-
lot of here.
Well, speaking of hot air balloons, this was last year's.
If you like hot air balloons, hold on.
Hold on.
So this one's kind of a pink metal, and it's got a hot air balloon style there, like trophy thing. That looks really nice.
This one was great. And then the thing that is amazing about the Sonoma race is we really do celebrate the fact that it is in wine.
That is a wine barrel.
barrel.
This is Napa to Sonoma, and that's from 2022, it looks like. And it's made out of wood and metal.
Yeah, it is.
And
And
there,
it's got a nice little weight to
Wow.
it. And it could be a coaster.
I like that.
Yeah.
Do we, in addition to being the most beautiful half marathon, do we have the best? We have the best medals.
Yes, we have the best
Thank you.
medals.
We can go out. We can say that officially.
the best
medals.
We have the best medals. I
Yeah,
mean, look
take
at this
that
one. This one's from
Livermore half
2021.
marathon.
Not that we're,
Oh,
yeah.
I like a spinning bottle in the middle of that one.
Yes.
That one looks almost like a Christmas ornament.
Well, funny you should say that.
Oh, okay.
It was in December of 2021.
Oh, right.
So we had no races for 18 months.
Right.
And so
Did something happen?
little thing called the pandemic.
Right. Oh, yeah. Right.
That part.
Yeah.
And so there was no July 2020 race, and there was no July 2021 race. But as races started to come back, Motive put on the Napa to Sonoma race in 21, but they moved it to December.
Got it. Okay.
And so the medal was designed almost kind of like a Christmas
It looks like a
ornament.
Christmas ornament. I love
Yeah.
it. That's really cool.
Yeah,
So,
it's very cool.
Gretchen, how did you get into becoming a crazy person that just runs for, even though bicycles have been invented? Like, why? What's
I like
wrong
the
with you, Gretchen?
It is called Slow-Noma, so I like
Exactly.
to go slower
Very
than
good,
a
very
bicycle,
good,
right?
very
The reason I got started running is because it's actually quite simple. I was told I couldn't. And so I
Oh,
decided to...
like what? Like your mom said stop running, or a lifeguard, or what?
No, it was so many years ago, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, my 3rd or 4th at the time. I've been dealing with that my whole life since I was a kid. And the short version is it affected my lungs and my joints, and I couldn't walk for 6 weeks. I was I was at UCSF on a morphine drip for 8 days.
Goodness.
Actually, the morphine drip was not bad.
No complaints.
But then one of the things that the doctors said at the time was, you're not going to run again. And at the time, I was kind of like, that's fine because I'm not a runner.
Right.
But then a few years later, I realized there's just a lot of life stuff going on, and I didn't want to live in that fear space anymore of like, oh, it might come back, or life is limiting, or anything like that. And so I decided to defy the odds and defy the prognosis.
And the doctors.
And literally against doctors' orders, I decided to train for a half marathon. And of course, all my friends were like, why not a 5K? Right?
Yeah.
Shorter distance, not quite. But I needed that, the audacity of that bigger
goal. Kind of like the stretch goal.
The stretch goal, yeah. The audacity of, hey, can I do this? What can I get out of it? How do I prove something to myself? And so I ran a half marathon, thinking that would be enough.
Right, and you're done. You get your one medal. You declare victory.
I claim victory. I ran it in San Francisco.
Okay.
It was beautiful. Ran across the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh, that's pretty.
Felt very, ambitious and metaphorical.
Yeah, okay.
And then I kept running and kept running. And it gave me something bigger than myself. It was like, wait a second, if I can do this, what else is possible?
Okay.
Right? Like, what else am I capable of?
Right.
And over the years, full disclosure, not bearing the lead, I've run 130 half marathons.
Oh, wait.
Don't
So
faint.
you're addicted to half marathons. That's the headline. Crazy, insane person doesn't know how to walk anywhere. I can't read a bus schedule. You've run 100 and what?
130
Half marathons.
half marathons.
So you'd like travel around.
I have.
Like you go to towns and you're like, oh, what's going on in Frankfort, Kentucky? Oh, a half marathon. I'm going to run that.
I have not run one in Frankfort, Kentucky. I've not run in Kentucky, but I have run in 18 states.
Okay.
37 different cities. So I like to repeat sometimes. So for example, I've run Napa to Sonoma multiple times because it's in my backyard.
Right. Easy to get to.
Very easy to get to. I don't have to get on a plane.
Right.
And also, again, most scenic. And actually, this medal is from my 100th half marathon.
Oh, really? Wow.
So this was my 100th half marathon in my backyard, which was kind of poetic.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of bring it.
It brought it all full circle.
Wait, did you run cross country in high school or something like that, or track?
I did not.
No.
No.
You weren't a runner as a kid?
At all. No. In fact, actually, not only did I get side stitches because, in grade school, it's like, oh, run the mile. And I'd like run 4 steps. I'm like, I have a side stitch. Also, I was a total klutz. So in 6th grade, I still have this. My classmates made a handmade award that they did for different people.
Okay.
And mine was biggest klutz.
Really?
Yeah, I still have it. It was pink and blue and white.
Instead of most likely to succeed, you're most likely to bleed. Fall over.
Oh, that was good.
There
that
you
was
are.
Quick.
There you are.
So no, I didn't grow up. I wasn't.
You weren't a sporty person.
No, I wasn't an athlete. I wasn't sporty. I had thoughts of it, but my body was like,
not going to happen, right?
I played basketball, but they never gave me the ball because to be coordinated enough to run and dribble at the same time.
Were you tall for your age?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're the tall kid. Of course you play basketball.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Of course you played basketball. Of course you run track.
Right.
I tried, what's the hurdles?
Oh, yeah. No?
Oh, you have,
knock 'em all over.
you need coordination for hurling. Otherwise, you're going to hurt yourself.
Step, jump, or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to do it at the right time.
I did hurling for about 5 minutes.
You collected hurdles in the front of your body. You're like, ugh.
I'm like just cleaning up the track for regular cross country.
Okay, so that's interesting. So by the time you were an adult essentially.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And
technically on paper, I was an adult.
well, right. Okay. Your age was adult age. We're not asking your emotional age here.
Right.
But done 100.
different podcast.
Yeah, exactly. But you've done 100 and something of these. Are you part of like a running club or like an association, or is this all like you do it yourself? Like, do you have a group that you're like, okay, guys, we're going to Seattle and we're going to do this? Or
Most of it's been, funny you should mention Seattle because that's where Benroya Research Institute is.
oh, we'll segue into that soon.
We'll segue
Okay.
into that. I love the planting of the seeds. For the most part, I've been motivated just internally.
Okay.
There's this, there's this resiliency that I've built, and this a lot of it comes from the fact that I can do it at all. People ask me all the time, like, why do you run? And sometimes it's quite simple, of like, because I can. Right? One of my favorite signs on the course that I see all the time is someday you will not be able to do this. Today is not that day.
Okay.
And there's something about that that gets me every time, because it is, and that's one of the things that I love about running is you really do have to be in the present moment.
Okay.
Right? You can think about other things, but it keeps you in the present moment. Every mile that you're in is the mile that you're in.
Got it.
Right? And so, I mean, I can, I can go off for, hours about all of the ways
The psychology of.
Yeah, the psychology of it and how it overlaps with life, and it's this kind of this, the miles that you're in, the miles that you're in life, and all the metaphors that come with that, and the life lessons that you get from it. Running to me is a catalyst for community.
Okay.
Right? So even though I may not be part of an official running club, when you get into conversation with other runners, it's an instant community.
Gotcha.
Right? I will give a shout out here in Sonoma to the Sonoma Valley Runners.
Okay.
They're a great running club that folks in all of Sonoma County. They're so good at supporting local runners, going to different races around the county, not just Napa to Sonoma, which they are present at, and they rally everybody to do that race. That's really our penultimate race in Sonoma County. It's in the middle of the year. It's a grand celebration of both Sonoma and running.
Right.
Right. It's this gorgeous course. The title partner is the Sonoma County Airport. Charles M. Schultz.
Sonoma County Airport.
Yes. And so I really, what's one of the things that I love about how we all live here in Sonoma is like Sonoma Valley Runners celebrating running in Sonoma. And the Napa to Sonoma race is really this celebration of how people run in Sonoma, get outdoors in Sonoma, spend their time outside of drinking amazing wine and eating delicious food.
Right.
That's how we're able to do it, right? Because we're outside, we're active, we're doing all these things, and then we get to enjoy all this bounty.
And you mentioned that you can run year-round here.
Yes.
Actually, in the winter, it's lovely running weather. It's like 55 to
100%.
60 degrees, so it's fantastic.
Oh, you can really run all year long here, even in the rain. I grew up in Seattle. Like, running in the rain's no big deal.
Not a problem. No. You mentioned before about the Benroya Institute. I probably mispronounced that.
Nope.
Tell me a bit about that, because I know it's something that you are passionate about.
Yes. The Benroya Research Institute, they're out of Seattle, Washington, and they love it when I use layman's terms to describe it. But essentially, they are looking for a cure for autoimmune diseases. So the way, there's over 80 identified autoimmune diseases and growing. And more than 22 million Americans are afflicted with one or more. The reason I say one or more is oftentimes in the autoimmune world, if you have one, it opens the door that you can be diagnosed for another. So, for example, I have 4. So, and then what you do is you learn how to manage them, which is what I'm doing. And there's more to that piece of the story as well. But Benroya Research Institute, a lot of people know the more, how do you say, like the more well-known autoimmune diseases like multiple sclerosis, MS, rheumatoid arthritis, RA, lupus, type 1 diabetes. Those, oftentimes that research is done separate.
Got it.
Right? And so what Benroya Research Institute does, and again, this is where like me not being the scientist and,
That's okay.
on staff, the way I describe it is it's as if they got all the researchers who were in those silos of those different diseases, and they're like, get into one room together, start having conversations so that you can understand where the commonality is. So the short version is cure one to cure all.
Oh, I gotcha.
And so Benroya Research, BRI for short, what their mission is: predict, prevent, reverse, and cure. So the idea is if you can predict, like, oh, you have these genetic markers, we can understand that now. And then maybe they figured that out for MS, but then because they don't have to go through the red tape of, asking for research and years of money and, permissions and letters and all this kind of stuff, they're all in the room together. So they're talking to each other. So they're able to share breakthroughs and wait, maybe this might work for my autoimmune disease that I'm researching. So they're accelerating the research by doing it together. And then that also means that they're accelerating the ability to potentially reverse and cure these diseases.
So are you like the ambassador for them? Are you the running representative for them? What do you do for them?
What do I do for them? So I raise a lot of money and
fundraiser.
education and awareness for them. So I'm a fundraiser, but not literally on staff as a fundraiser. Right. So I have used different markers of my races to raise money for them. So for my 75th half marathon, I raised a whole bunch of money for them.
Got it.
And then went and presented it to them the following year.
Okay.
I first went to a luncheon of theirs about 10 years ago. And it was the first time where I was like, oh, these random, disorders, diseases that I have, there's a group of people who actually give a damn and they're working to find a cure for them. And help you better treat them and manage them and all that kind of stuff. So I've been involved with them for about 10 years. And then for this past March, I did to use your words, crazy idea, and I ran 2 halves on 2 coasts in 2 days. So, and we turned it into this whole campaign. And I reached out to BRI in January and I said, I have this great idea. March is Autoimmune Disease Awareness Month.
Okay.
There's 2 races on 2 coasts that I always love to run, but this year they're on the same weekend. And instead of sacrificing one, what if I did both and we turned it into a campaign?
We're going to do a marathon weekend.
Yes. You know what's crazy is I did not think of it that way at all. Like I had a couple of people that weekend go, you do realize you're running a marathon this weekend? I'm like, nope, I need to
interrupted by a plane.
Right. I can't think of it that way because
Okay.
I've never run a marathon.
Yes, you have now.
Well, ish, right?
Yeah, okay.
But so I ran in Washington, D.C. Saturday morning, got on a plane that night to Portland, Oregon, and then ran that next morning.
Wait, so you did a red eye?
No, it was like a 6 p.m. flight.
Well, okay, well,
right?
still,
And then here's the key. I gained 3 hours. I wouldn't do a reverse.
Only a runner would think about like, hey, look at my best time ever. I gained 3 hours.
And so I'm actually very close to my goal. My goal was 20,000. So 2 halves, 2 coasts, 2 days, raised 20 grand. I'm at just over 17,000.
Great.
Right now, about almost 17.5. So
Okay.
when the 1 year comes around, I want to be able to say I've done that.
Raised
And
20,000.
they recently asked me to join their advisory board
Okay.
because I'm willing to tell my story,
Right.
willing to advocate and show what is possible,
Right.
while also having autoimmune diseases. It's not a sentence that says now you have to exit.
Right,
life.
you're all done. It's just learning how to live with it.
What else is possible?
I've heard one of the frustrations of an autoimmune disease is getting medical people to believe you and to give you a diagnosis. Is that accurate?
That is exactly right. Those 2 things are 100% right. It is. You spend a lot of time finding doctors that will listen and advocate for you along with you and allow you to advocate for yourself. So doctors who, again, willing to listen and hear you when you're saying, but this is what's going on in my body. And then, I would say almost every diagnosis I personally have had has taken weeks to months to years. And that can be very frustrating. And so it can be a very isolating process, which is, again, why I'm trying to give more voice and more spotlight onto my own journey and inviting other people. One of the things I loved when I did the 2 halves, 2 coasts, 2 days last year was how many, because of course we've created tank tops.
Right, you're wearing the gear. You're like
wearing the gear,
advertising. You're
advertising
out there.
the idea, and then we did a bunch of press in DC and in Portland, and the amount of people, whether it was the airline pilot or the local Portland news broadcaster or cameraman or a runner in the corral at the start line, the amount of stories I heard from people like, wait, I have an autoimmune disease and I didn't know that people were talking about this.
Right.
Or, oh, my sister has this. This gives me so much hope to know that there's a group of people in Seattle doing this kind of research, because I really believe, and they said I can say it this way, is, there will come a time where you might have the genetic predisposition for, say, type 1 diabetes or MS. They will be able to prevent you from dealing with
Showing like the symptoms and stuff like that. Huh.
Right? And 5 years ago, you couldn't have said
And
that.
now it's retroactive. Now it's like, oh, you have type 1 diabetes because of this marker.
Right.
But 20 years from now, oh, you have this marker, so let's get ready for this.
Exactly.
Let's help you out. That'd be amazing.
And it's probably sooner than 20 years because of their research.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Because you're running. Because you're like this crazy person going coast to coast.
Coast to coast, literally, coast to coast. And that's why I think those were race number 121 and 22, 121, 122. And so it's less about the numbers now. And I've hit 100. Like, what else do I need to prove? Right? I've done that. So now it's about like, what else can I do? How else can I make a difference and use this, this love of running and this, I'll be honest, people ask me this all the time, like, oh, do you still get nervous at the start line? Do you still enjoy running? I'm still in awe that I can do it at all. And when I don't have that feeling anymore, then I need to have a different conversation. But I still am like, oh my God, I can't believe I get to do this.
Yeah, look what I get to do.
Yes.
And you're in a cool place, and everyone's pumped up around you. And
there's nothing like a start line.
And people are like all clapping, right?
Oh, yeah.
They have music
There's
going.
so much energy at a race. There's so much energy at a race. And the start line and the finish line, there's nothing like crossing a finish line and being like, I just did that. I just ran that.
And you get that cool photo. Like people like you're there and they do it. Well, Gretchen, let me ask. Let's bring it back to the Napa to Sonoma half.
Yes.
If somebody listening now,
Yes.
so this is January. So let's assume they're listening to this early in the year, and they wanted to prepare for a half marathon. How would they do that?
Well, first, if they want to run the Napa to Sonoma Half Marathon, they should go to Run Sip Napa to Sonoma.
Oh, and register.
Yes.
Do that first.
First, you got to. It's not Run Sip Napa to Sonoma. It's Run Napa to Sonoma.
Okay.
You do have to register to run these races.
Yeah, run to napatasonoma.com. Of course, you have to register because you guys have to pay for like security and big banners and nifty medals.
Yes, and
know the
closing down
route.
the roads,
Right.
so there's safety and all of that.
Oh, you can't just like run willy-nilly down the middle of the road? No, you shouldn't do that.
No.
So
that'd be a different kind of obstacle course.
That would be the steeplechase. So run napatasonoma.com. They could go there and register for the actual race.
For the actual race.
All right, so I've done that. I'm ready.
Now.
I'm like pumped up. I'm like, yes, I'm going to do this. But what if you're like me and you don't run very much? Do I just go out and do 13 miles tomorrow?
No.
Oh, I shouldn't do that.
No.
Okay.
Let's not do that.
Okay.
So we got to start with one step.
Okay.
Right? So one step. So if you've never run before, I'm a big proponent of like everybody's a runner.
Okay.
Right? So if you run to the mailbox, I will call you a runner.
Okay. Fair enough.
Right?
Yeah.
So you got to celebrate. It's not just about celebrating the finish line. It's about celebrating the moments along the way, or as I like to call them, finish line moments.
Okay.
Right? So the first time you go out for a run for a minute. Right? And look at your watch. Run for 1 minute. And that's enough. Right? That's it. Like you got to just start with that first step. Take that first step. Run a little bit. See how you feel. Check your heart rate. It's Sonoma, so I would advise like going on we have a great bike path.
That's right. Yeah.
I see people running, walking, biking along that path all the time. It's beautiful. It's safe. It's a great place to start.
It's flat.
It's flat.
Right.
I mean, look, we're in Sonoma. There's so many great trails to start running on, and so again, with the finish line moments, maybe you start there and you're like, I'm going to run to that tree, and that's enough. Okay. And then the idea is you start building on that. So then every couple of days, go run a little bit further than you ran the time before.
Okay.
And then eventually you start actually building up the miles.
That you're
but
able
you
to.
Don't start with 13.1.
You're going to hurt yourself probably.
You're going to hurt yourself. And look, with a race in July, start training now. It doesn't have to be that overly intense because you got plenty of time.
7 months. You can do it. Yeah.
7 months you can do it. The other thing I would say is cross-train.
And what does that mean?
So cross-train means don't just run. Add some walking into it. Look, we've got Montini, we got Overlook. Add some hiking.
Trails. Okay.
Do some trail, walking, running, strength training. We got a lot of great gyms here in Sonoma.
Right.
There's a lot of great personal trainers you can work with.
Okay.
So a little bit of strength training so that your body starts to build up the muscle fiber and the endurance that it needs to take on those types of miles.
Okay.
A lot of core work.
Okay.
That kind of thing. And then I always like to tell people have a light touch on it, meaning be nimble so that you can pivot in the moment. You're like, oh, wait, this week I'm supposed to be traveling and I don't know, if I'm going to get my runs in. I've been so vigilant or regimented about I run Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This is my training. And wait, now I'm not going to. It's like, no, hold up. Like, let's just have a light touch on it. Are you going to be in a hotel? Use the hotel gym. Go do something down there.
Do
Maybe
the push-ups, do something like that.
Do something like have that light touch on those goals so that you can pivot when you need to.
That's good advice.
And then the last thing I would say is like set those finish line moments. So it's like, okay, here's where I want to be on February 1 and then work backwards from that goal.
Okay.
Here's where I want to be on, March 15th and then work backwards from that goal and celebrate those along the way instead of making it just about that actual finish line.
So sometimes the journey is the destination in that regards. I like that.
Yeah.
Gretchen, is your day job doing this, or like when you're not running and you're not talking about and advocating on behalf of autoimmune research, and you're not on podcasts?
Yes.
What else are you doing?
Well, that does take up a lot of my time.
It does. So you're full-time supporting Napa to Sonoma Half Marathon?
No, not full-time with them. I do work, so for Motive, I'm the Golden State Challenge community lead. We actually have 8 races in the state of California.
And Motive is the company that puts on
Motive is the company that produces all of these races.
Okay.
And we have, the Golden State Challenge is a race series. There's 8 of them in California.
Okay.
And we've got 3 of them in Northern California, 5 in Southern California. And the 4th one in chronological order, the 4th one is Napa to Sonoma.
I gotcha.
And so what we do is if you run more than one of the 8, then we start incentivizing you with prizes. So you get a prize for running 2, you get a prize for 3, you get a very special medal for the 4th prize. Okay. So if you start with us in February down at Huntington Beach for Surf City, by the time, and you run Beta Breakers, and then you also run in another wine country area called Santa Barbara.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, heard of it?
I've heard of it.
And then if you do all those 3, when you're doing Napa to Sonoma, that would be the 4th one, then you get an extra special medal. So if you go to goldenstatechallenge.com, you will see that race series.
So have people run all the races in a year?
Oh, yes. Some people they like to run 4 so they get the medal.
Okay.
But you get a prize after 2, a prize after 3. You get the special medal at 4. You get a prize after 5. You get a bear made out of that year's race T-shirts for 6. And then we have more prizes for 7.
Oh, that is really cool. Oh, so the Beta Breakers is part of it?
Yes, it is.
Is Motive putting on the Beta Breakers? Or
yes,
just
so these are all Motive races. So all 8 of the Golden State Challenge race series are Motive races.
But if they do the Beta Breakers, do they have to throw tortillas and be naked? Or can they just, do you guys make an
extra prize. Kidding.
For the Beta Breakers is one of those crazy races where they go from the bay to the ocean in San Francisco. Yes. I think it's like 7 miles or whatever across. And it is definitely a San Francisco moment.
It is uniquely San Francisco. I think that's the.
Do people still dress up in the big long centipede outfits and stuff that? Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's prizes for people who come in, first and second and third. Then there's also prizes for the centipede or the tethered together, tied together.
And they dress up like at BART trains. They dress up like everything
brilliant.
crazy.
I was at the finish line last year working, and the creativity that you see is impressive.
That's a fun race.
It is very fun. It is if Napa to Sonoma is a celebration of all things running in Sonoma, like Beta Breakers is like celebrating all the unique
The madness of the city.
of
Yeah.
San Francisco.
I love that. Okay, so that's cool. So that's called the Golden State Challenge, and people can do that. You get, if you do 4 of them, you get a special medal.
Yes.
If you do all of them, you get a special doohickey,
We have a
bear, and stuff like that.
what do you call it? A medal hanger. And,
Okay.
But like I said, you get a prize at 2, 3, special one at 4, 5.
That is
6,
really
7.
cool.
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't even know that.
We like to, you get a tour of California. You get to run
Yeah.
twice in the wine country. You get to run in San Francisco, run across the Golden Gate Bridge. You also get the Beta Breakers. And then you get to run along the ocean in Huntington Beach twice. And then there's also a race in Long Beach, so you get that Long Beach vibe. So you get ocean, you get Southern California, you get big city, you get wine country. It's really a brilliant
all in
tour
there.
of California.
I love that. Okay.
And for people, and it's 5K or above. So you can run 4 of them as 5Ks. They don't all have to be half marathons.
Oh.
There's multiple distances for the Golden State Challenge. There's 5Ks, 10Ks, 10-miler, half, and full.
I like that. Okay, good.
You can mix it up. You can make whatever distance as long as it's 5K or above.
Oh,
So it's great for first timers.
Right,
It's
okay.
great for people who want to really challenge themselves and do big distances or like 3 5Ks and a half marathon.
Right.
And it helps people. I find that helps people, especially if they have a bit of fear around running.
Mm-hmm.
The camaraderie and the community of the energy around these races, you really get caught up in it.
Right.
And then you're like this fear that you have around it. Like I always like to say, there's magic on the other side of the fear. And that magic is the community of runners.
yeah, and it seems that way. And I'm just looking at the videos here. What I love is that it's a diverse group. It's not all 25-year-olds.
Correct.
And it seems like in running, and cycling is probably similar, that a lot of people who are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s can still participate. And
Absolutely.
they're running against your own mind.
Yes.
You're not running against the 25-year-old next to you. I mean, you are, but you're not.
Right.
Right. So it's really running against your own goals.
Again, it's your race. It's like, what can you see as possible? You do the training, and then during that race, you trust your training, and you get caught up in the camaraderie. You run the mile that you're in, and you have fun, and that sense of accomplishment. Right? It's not about being perfect. It's
Right.
making progress with each mile, and then that sense of accomplishment at the finish line. There's nothing like it. And then it's like, oh wait, I need to do that again for 129 more.
Yeah, exactly. Or 2 of them in the same weekend.
Yes, that part.
What I love about this, and I'm so glad you're on today, is that because we are in the middle of our winter wellness campaign.
Yes.
And we're promoting wellness in Sonoma Valley, especially because, people rightly equate us with food and wine.
Yes.
That's who we are. And that's definitely a part of Sonoma Valley, but really it's also about wellness and the kind of holistic approach to, to going to a destination. Like if you go to Las Vegas, you're kind of there to indulge. Right?
Yes.
That's kind of their thing. And if you're going to Orlando, you're there to see a mouse and amusement parks and stuff like that. What I love about Sonoma Valley is that we can embrace wellness, and especially in the winter when it's moderate temperatures and there's things to do. And, we have our 100 days and things that are like yoga. Go do yoga in a vineyard.
Great cross training for running.
Probably limber up and stuff like that. And we also have sort of like mental wellness. So there's like meditation retreats. There's the Sonoma Zen Center. There's lots of places you can do that. But then we've even got like go to the bookstore and work on the wellness of your brain and go to readers' books and stuff like that. Asking you, other than running, what are some things that you do for wellness that help you feel good and healthy?
Oh, wow. I was going to talk about wellness in Sonoma. I do. I hike the Overlook Trail.
You do?
I do. I love the Overlook Trail.
About a
That
3-mile
to me is-
loop roughly.
Yeah. It's, getting up onto the top there and looking down into the valley and this beautiful area that we live and just feeling so much gratitude for. It's kind of similar to running. Like I get to run. It's like I get to live here.
Yeah.
How lucky are we?
I love it in the winter up there.
Yeah.
Because it's cooler. The leaves, there's the oaks, some of them keep their leaves, and then the grasses turn green. And it's beautiful.
Oh, it is stunning.
Yeah, it's like Ireland with the green.
Yeah. It's beautiful up there.
The booklet is up there sometimes. They put up a little booklet and people can put their thoughts into it.
Yeah.
And I love reading, it's like a journal. People, what they're thinking that day.
Yeah, and it reminds me whenever I've opened that up, just how many tourists come here from all over.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of Ireland, like I just read one the other day. I was like, oh my God, there's people from Ireland who came over here and they hiked this trail.
They did. Isn't
How
that funny?
cool
I
is
know.
that?
Like you often forget that you aren't in an international destination.
We really are.
And people from all over are there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so okay, so you do the hike.
I do. I love that hike, and I do go for a lot of walks. Again, I do, I walk the walk, no pun intended,
Right.
of taking advantage of what Sonoma has to offer. We have so much outdoor activity, and we can be outside pretty much the whole year.
Right.
And so why not get out and walk to, explore all these areas. And then, with Sonoma County, we are also a really big county, right?
Right,
You can go
right.
all the way to the ocean.
Right.
And so I try to do things like that and like get to know outside of, the city of Sonoma.
Sometimes called the island.
Yes,
Yes.
a little bit. And then I'm again, we're lucky that we live here. Food.
Oh yeah.
Right? Food is I love cooking. I've got a great kitchen, so I like to take advantage of that.
Okay.
And then, and being able to cook for other people. There's just that community aspect of things.
Wait, are you the kind of person when someone comes to your house, do you guys all end up in the kitchen?
Yes.
Like I'm going to entertain and you've got the living room's all set up or the family room, but you just hang out in the kitchen anyway.
Yes. I actually designed the kitchen to just be kitchen, living room, out.
The lazy boys in there. You're just like,
It's
all right
the
there.
gathering place.
And that's what always happens.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how many nice candles you put out in the other room.
I don't.
Yeah,
no, I
smart.
literally designed
Just
it
so
that
people hang out in the kitchen.
We're in the kitchen
Got it.
because that's the.
Do you have a go-to dish that you make?
Oh, it depends on the season.
Okay.
It depends on the season.
Very Sonoma.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes. Yes. And also, so for example, I just recently made, I do this every New Year's for good luck, Marcus Samuelson's Ethiopian black-eyed peas.
Oh my gosh. Okay. It's quite the pedigree there.
It's delicious.
Ethiopian black-eyed peas.
Yes, because, black-eyed peas are a traditional dish at New Year's to bring in prosperity for the new year. And I decided to get creative about 10 years ago, and I found this recipe, and I make it every year now.
Yeah, it looks good. Wow.
It's very good.
We'll have to get that on our recipes. We do have recipes on our website at sonomavalley.com. Did you say Marcus Samuelson's?
Yes.
I see it right here. Ooh, with coconut milk? Uh-huh. It's nice. You know, like about Ethiopian food, they have that spongy bread.
Yes, it's so
bread.
good. It's the best.
It's like every culture has their version of a tortilla or like a bread,
Yes,
thing.
that's
And,
true.
man, Ethiopia, they do it right.
Yeah.
That looks good.
It's
Wow.
very good.
Okay, so I like your go-to there.
That's my New Year's either evening or day.
Okay, okay.
I make that. And then in terms of other wellness, I would think I have multiple mantras. But one of the things that I really, in addition to being grateful and like finding ways to stay grateful, is staying curious. Like what else is possible and staying curious in the day. I use it in my running, like stay curious. I don't always know what's going to happen in that mile. And so it helps me. I'm out of my comfort zone.
Right.
The only way to grow when you're out of your comfort zone is to stay curious.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
If you brace and all that kind of stuff. So that's a big piece of like how I get through difficult life
Just
stuff.
life in general.
Life in general is to stay curious because you just never know, right? And so
Right.
it keeps you light on your feet, and then you're ready for anything.
That's good advice for running or life.
Absolutely.
Both. Stay curious.
Yeah.
That's sort of like the learn something new every day idea that like,
Yes.
if you have very high expectations and things don't turn out exactly that way, disappointment, anger, disillusionment. But I like your stay curious. You're like, oh, well, that was interesting.
Right.
That
So that
did
happened.
not go how I thought.
Right? Well, and
Right.
I honestly, I believe that as much running as I have done, is that's where that growth has come, is because I've been in my comfort zone so much. I can go in with all the perfect training in the world,
Right.
and I can think I know how this race is going to go. Anything can happen, and I have to adjust in that moment. I have to adjust in that mile. I have to adjust with the weather. Maybe it's more humid, less humid, colder, warmer than I was expecting. Or maybe all of a sudden that day my stomach's like, right? Or a knee, or my lungs, because I have asthma from one of the autoimmune diseases. Maybe my lungs are like, yeah, we were fine until today.
Wait, do you run with one of those little pump things?
Not with it. I mean, I do sometimes if it's really bad, but I have all those. But that's one of the most beautiful things that I've been taught with running is like, how do I adjust in that moment, accept what's happening in that moment, and keep going, right? Still take that next step.
Okay. Have you ever had to stop a race though? Have you ever had to be like, it's not going to work for me, and I'm just going to be here, or like a run where you're like, it's not now's not the time.
I have had runs where I do that, right? I'm always, you have to, as someone with autoimmune diseases, you do listen to your body a lot. You have to be super in touch with all that. So I've had runs where I'm like, I'm walking right now.
Okay.
And I've had races where I'm walking. I've never had a DNF, which is called did not finish.
Got it. Okay.
I've never had a DFL. Dead frickin' last.
Gotcha.
But although there's...
Hold on. There should be a special medal for DFLs.
That's very true.
They should get an enormous bottle of wine here.
I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree with that because the level of perseverance it takes
Yeah.
to know that you're the last
You're
person.
like,
and you're
yeah,
crossing
I'm
the finish
owning
line.
this.
It's like, this is me.
And that's my bottle of wine.
There, yeah, I'm doing this. I have had a couple of DNS, which is did not start.
Oh, okay.
And that is me listening to my body before the race going, this is not
and that's
happen.
wise.
Yeah.
That's also part of
Oh, it's definitely wise. And it's not, I have overpushed myself more than once.
Yeah.
And I paid for it. Like when I ran 11 halves in 4 months at the end of 21 to get to the number 100 so that it was in Sonoma. I paid for it for about a year.
Oof.
The 2 halves, 2 coasts, 2 days in March. I would say I finally felt human in early July.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that's an adjustment that I need to always work with, and I work with my medical team about that as well. Is like, the way we talk about it is like, I push myself to the point of having fewer flare-ups because I stay so healthy and because I'm like always trying to maximize what my body is capable of doing. And so that's a good thing. There's that, it's almost like that horseshoe effect. I can sometimes push it too far where then my body's like, okay, now we're not playing with you anymore.
Got it.
Now we're going to make you pay.
Body's in charge.
Yeah. Body is in charge. Body is in charge.
Gotta listen to it.
But yeah, no, I do. And I do try to listen to it. I very much practice the yes and theory of like, yes, this is happening and I'm still capable of doing this. Or yes, I'm a runner and I still need to watch and be careful, right? So it's how do I incorporate the two? And someone said to me years ago, like, I don't follow it necessarily a typical runner's life. But I have this mosaic of what I have created. And somebody said, yeah, you broke glass to make a mosaic.
Oh, there you go.
Isn't that cool?
All right, very good.
I love that.
That's well put.
That's kind of how it feels.
Okay. Well, hey, I'm ready to run the Napa to Sonoma Half. I'm going to do.
Tim, did I
I'm gonna
convert
do
you?
And the bear thing. Sure, I'm in.
You converted you. That's incredible. I love that.
Maybe I'll show up to cheer.
I love it. No, it's the Napa to Sonoma Half is an incredible weekend.
Okay.
It really is. Enjoy the wine, enjoy the food, go for a run, go enjoy more wine and more food. It's that kind of weekend.
I like it.
Right.
When people, because we're going to have to get to the next section of our podcast here where you help me answer questions from visitors.
Yes.
So, but before we do that, remind me again the website for people to sign up for more information. Is it napatosonoma.com?
RunNapaToSonoma.com.
RunNapaToSonoma.com.
Yes.
Got it. Yeah,
and then if you want to know more about the Golden State Challenge, that's goldenstatechallenge.com, which also has, like, if you go to the Napa Sonoma section, you can register from there as well.
And registration's open now, and it's in July.
Registration's open now. And here a little tip.
Go.
Register now. It sells out, and it will sell out again this year. So if you're thinking, in June that you're going to sign up,
you're not going to.
You're signing up for 26.
You're not late. You're just really early.
Right.
That's what
right.
it is. Okay. So runnapatosonoma.com.
Yes.
And that's also where you can sign up for the Rose 5K.
Yes.
And all the things.
You can sign up Rose 5K, Half Marathon, and both.
Okay. So you don't have to do. You can just do the 5K if you want.
Absolutely. Okay. And we never say just.
You can
any distance.
do the Rose 5K
only,
and be amazing and conquer it.
Yes.
Thank you.
100%. And we also, there is a charity partner, the Michael J. Fox Foundation.
Okay.
Is a charity partner for the Napa to Sonoma weekend.
Okay.
So you can also run through them as a charity, raise money while you're training for that race weekend.
Okay. That's very good.
Yeah.
All right.
So then, and they're a phenomenal organization, and he just got their presidential.
Yeah, Medal of Honor or something. Medal.
Medal.
He's got a medal. I don't know if it was a rotating metal, looked like a Christmas tree and a wine barrel, but his was pretty nice too.
I mean,
yeah, his was pretty nice.
He had a president give it to him, so there's that.
You know, there's that.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. So run Napa to Sonoma.com. But
Yes.
Gretchen, before you run out of here,
Unintended.
you know that you got to help me answer some questions.
Yes, and also when we have a teaser of an upcoming radio show, and I forgot to mention the other part of my main job.
Oh, wait. Do that
I have
real
more
quick.
than one job.
What?
I have multiple jobs.
What? How do you have time to talk to me?
Because I wanted to make time to
Quick,
talk
give
to
me the whole, what's your other job?
Okay, so it's the Golden State Challenge
Right.
Community Lead. And then I'm on the board, the advisory board of Benroya Research Institute. I'm a runner. I'm also the CEO of a company called Finish Line Moments, and it is a professional development company that does executive coaching and facilitation and public speaking and media.
And that's why you've been so good at like distilling information into nice nuggets of wisdom.
Yes. And
Finish Line Media.
Yes. Finish Line Moments.
Moments. But when you start your media company, there's an idea.
And that also has a website, finishlinemoments.com.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Very easy.
And then I hear from a little bird just told me that there might be a radio show
Yes.
starting soon
So
on KSVY Sonoma.
KFCY.
Yeah, right here in the heart of Sonoma Valley. From
Part of Sonoma Valley,
here.
KSVY, Sonoma.
starting soon.
Starting soon, Finish Line Moments radio show coming to you live weekly. All about running wellness in Sonoma Valley.
I love this, and it'll also be available online because not only
Yes.
can you listen to it when you're here, but you can also listen to it online, and then they also archive everything.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to that one.
Maybe you should come be a guest.
Oh yeah, you're pulling your Uno reverse card, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, I would
like
love to
that.
be a guest.
Okay.
On Finish Line Moments
Yes.
radio.
Yes.
Okay. And we don't have the exact time or date yet, but watch this spot; it'll happen.
Yes,
We're gonna find out.
absolutely.
Good.
Thank you.
You bet.
It's nothing like live pressure. Now you have to say yes. My plan
Exactly.
worked. My
We got
plan
it on
worked.
All right, so here we go. Gretchen, we have 2 visitor centers. People call us, they text us, they email us. They can email info@sonomavalley.com. Facebook, we're on Blue Sky. They ask us everything. You're going to help us answer Sonoma Valley questions. Yeah, in a segment. In a segment's called We Get Questions. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. First, I'm here for a bit. People come, they ask us all sorts of stuff.
Okay.
This is weird, right? So this is a random
So I
question.
may or may not be able to answer this
You may not.
question.
But you ready?
Am I allowed to make up things?
Yeah, that's what we do at the visitor center. Yeah. Here's the question. I'm here for a bit of wine and food indulgence,
Ooh.
but I still want to keep up with my exercise routine. What are some good runs to do in Sonoma Valley that have good scenery?
Did you curate this just
No,
for
people,
me?
literally this
was
guy,
random.
he had on a sweatband and little shorts, and he was like running and literally asked me, yeah, all the time this happens.
Little dolphin shorts?
And little dolphin shorts.
Wow.
And he's from Portland. No, so this happens
Wow,
all the
that
time.
was on brand.
What
I
are
love
the
it.
odds? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What? Oh, I would. You know what I would do is I would do the last 3 miles of the Napa to Sonoma Half Marathon.
Okay, where do I start?
Gunlock Bundschu,
Okay.
right on Denmark.
Yep.
And then it takes you go towards Sonoma,
Okay, towards the city of Sonoma.
towards the city of Sonoma, cross 8th Street,
Okay.
right? Because you don't want to run on 8th Street.
Nah,
That's
it's
a
not.
little
It's a
too-
little busy.
Right? And then take a right on 7th.
Okay.
And then basically run 7th to Napa Street.
Napa. Yeah, almost all the way to the plaza.
Yeah, and then take a left on Napa. Pretty easy. So Denmark, cross 8, take a right on 7th.
Love it.
7th up to Napa, take a left, and then run all the way down the plaza.
Not
That'd be
only
about
is
3
that
miles.
not only is that scenic, but you pass the spot where the first craft brewery was, New Albion Brewing Company.
I love that.
You pass Sonoma Garden Park.
Yes.
So a good spot right there. Let's
Yes.
learn about permaculture.
Yes.
And then you run past Reader's Books and on the way into town, and Enclos, the very fancy new restaurant. So for your wine and food indulgence.
Ooh, nice.
And you end up at the plaza.
Yes.
And then to celebrate, you jump in the duck pond. No, don't do that.
That
Don't.
feels
Nope. Don't
like someone's going to come get you.
do that. Yeah, angry ducks.
The most interesting ducks in the world, though, I will say.
Yeah, but some of them are angry.
Yes, but they're a unique
They are.
breed. or brand?
I
of
think there's
dogs?
been a lot of crossbreeding in there, actually. I think there is a new hybrid.
I have always wondered.
No, I honestly think there's like a Sonoma Plaza hybrid because underneath my office window, they make more ducks, and they're like, I'm like every year, I'm like, I think they're changing.
Tim, how do they make more ducks?
You don't want to know. It's scary. It is scary. Whole different podcast. All right, good. So that's a good run. Gun bun to the plaza.
Yes, and if you need a backup, run from the plaza, go up First Street, to hang a right on the bike path.
Okay.
And then run through across 4th Street.
Yep.
You'll see Sebastiani Winery on your right, and then run down Level Valley Road and a couple different ways to go. Again, vineyards everywhere.
These are good spots.
And that's part of the 5K, actually.
Okay.
Rose
I like it.
5K.
Hey, it's like you know this stuff.
A little bit.
That's very good. Okay, another question we just got. This is not a running question.
Okay.
But it's close. Okay. I'm a coffee fiend. Can you direct me to some coffee shops in Sonoma Valley, and if there's any in Glen Ellen and Kenwood?
Ooh.
Yeah. Are you a coffee drinker?
I love coffee.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So I just went to one. You're going to have to help me. There's 2 in Sonoma that I've been to recently, and they're both new.
Okay.
One is in the old. It's just down the street from the restaurant you mentioned.
I love the fact that we're doing the old because it's a very Sonoma thing. We're going to mention a place by a place that's no longer there.
Yes.
That's called Ohm Coffee.
Ohm Coffee.
OHM.
OHM. Yes.
And not Om as in like Om, like yoga, but Ohm like it's musicians, electric guitars.
Oh.
And ohms measure, I believe, resistance for electrical stuff when you're a musician, when you're an electric guitar god. Ohm Coffee. OHM.
Hey, I just learned something new.
I'm probably wrong. My dad's listening, and he's mortified because he works in the electrical engineering or the electrical generation field for a long time, and he's going to correct me. But yeah, Ohm Coffee.
So that one I went to recently and met up with a chef who's a runner.
Oh, great. Good.
And we chatted. And then the other 2 is down on Broadway. It's the new Swedish one.
That's right, Schmastad Coffee.
How do you say it? Say it again.
I probably say it wrong. Schmastad, Smastad.
Thank you.
Schmastad Coffee,
Okay.
which in true Sonoma form used to be Barking Dog. And it's in a building that used to be the preschool. And
Yes,
now it's
that's-
called,
okay.
right, the old red preschool. It's called Schmastad Coffee. Really good stuff.
Really good.
And they have like little Swedish treats and stuff like that, and quite good. So yeah, those are good 2 coffee spots.
Yeah.
I like
the
this.
only other one that I would add, well, not the only other one, another one I would add, because there's plenty. There's, great coffee right on the square.
Right.
Another lovely setting is the MacArthur Hotel.
Oh yeah, the front porch.
Porch.
And it's really good coffee, and a lot of locals hang out there.
Yeah.
Good Wi-Fi.
Right.
Beautiful oak tree.
Wi-Fi.
Beautiful oak tree you can sit underneath.
And if you
drink your
have
coffee.
early afternoon coffee there, you can just slowly segue into happy hour.
Oh, I like that. So get there at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, do your work.
Yes.
Boom.
Have a-
5 o'clock,
have
get some
an
cocktails.
Espresso, like true
like that.
Italians, right? No milk afternoon.
Right. Don't order that cappuccino at 3 o'clock. I get so angry.
Look at you funny.
Yeah, Jesus.
And then go right into
I like that. Those are good ones.
happy hour.
And then I'm going to go further up the valley. Let's say you leave Sonoma, Glen Ellen, we have Le Pascal Cafe.
Ooh.
And there's 2 Pascals, Pascal and Pascal. Now, as you can tell by my French, I pronounce one of those as the female way and one as the male way because they're both named Pascal. And Les Pascals is the name of the coffee shop, and it's really good.
Ooh.
And that's in Glen Ellen.
I'm going to have to go.
Yet up in Kenwood, brand new coffee shop called Pillow Fight Cafe.
Ooh.
Yeah, brand new. Just opened about a week and a half
Something
ago. Yeah, Pillow Fight. There used to be, Gretchen, you may not know this, but we used to have the World Championship Pillow Fights on July 4th in Kenwood, California.
This sounds like a tall tale.
No,
I need
no.
photographic evidence.
Yeah, go to Pillow Fight Cafe because they have, just like your medals, they have the awards of the years of the big fights that used to occur. Battles, epic
I love this.
battles of pillows.
I have to go.
Yeah, you got to go see it. So Pillow Fight Cafe.
Where is it?
Up in Kenwood, bustling downtown Kenwood. I'm like, Kenwood has one area. So just go to Kenwood. I love the fact that you said that. Well, if you've gone to the stoplight, you've gone too far, which is on Highway 12. Outside of Kenwood.
Yeah, I was going to say that stoplight's way far.
Yeah, you've gone too far. And if you go to Oakmont,
far.
the other, you've gone too far. So yeah, there's just no, so it's just in Kenwood.
Right.
Yeah, where
in
is
that
it?
little
In the middle area there. On the right side is Swedes Feeds, which has the big dinosaur statues. I've still, hey
yes.
kids, still haven't gotten me for my birthday or Father's Day. All Dad wants is a 10-foot Tyrannosaurus Rex statue. Anyway, they sell them there. Across the street.
There's a new restaurant from the owner of Glen Ellen Star that's going in there.
That's right. Ari's going to be opening that up. I'm not going to say when,
Right.
but soon.
Yes.
And he is a chef that runs.
He's also a chef that runs.
He's crazy. Like I see him, he goes to like New York and like runs marathons and
Yeah,
stuff.
he's a big runner.
That poor guy.
He's really I will learn a lot from him.
Oh, he's great. Yeah. I had him on the podcast and he was talking about that. I'm like, what are you doing? But I think, you work in a small place a lot because Glen Ellen Star is fabulous.
Right.
Yeah. He wants to get out.
Yeah, that
Break
makes
free.
sense.
That's right.
That makes a ton of sense, actually.
Absolutely. Here's another question we just got. We'd like to come visit in February or March, but what's the weather like? Should we come?
Always,
Yeah.
number one. Come
Thank you.
to Sonoma any time of the year.
Wait, one more time?
Come to Sonoma. Please visit Sonoma any time of the year.
I'm going to clip that. That's good.
Yes, you should. Come to Sonoma any time of the year. It's first of all, it's gorgeous here, no matter the weather, right? So you were just saying earlier about Overlook Trail, how green and lush it is at this time of year.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things, right? And then it's spring, it's the little flowers start to bloom.
Right.
Because of the rain, the poppies start to come up, and the
that.
blue or
Some mustard.
the mustard. Yeah, if people have hay fever, sorry about the
Oh,
mustard.
yeah. Bring the old
I'm
Allegra.
good, so
yeah.
I think
yeah.
it's beautiful. But yeah, even here's the thing about Sonoma. What are you going to do if it's raining outside and you don't want to go outside in the rain? Go into a wine tasting room and enjoy some of our lovely local
Boom.
tea.
There, you got to do it.
Or go into one of our amazing restaurants and enjoy our amazing food.
What a horrible choice. It's so bad.
You really can't go wrong at any time of the year here.
Good job.
Oh, there's another clip.
That's well done. Clip that one. And also, I mean, I'm not lying, but by law, it only rains from 12 midnight to 6 a.m.
I'm going to have to fact check you on that one.
Don't clip that one. All right. Well, Gretchen, you answered all the questions correctly.
Oh, good. Oh, it was a test.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
You get an A.
See, anything is possible.
And you're the kind of person, for those who don't see it, I love that you have like color-coded notes. Like you're an organized woman. So you getting an A, you feel great, don't you? You feel great.
You know me well.
Well, Gretchen, this has been fantastic. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
It's been an absolute pleasure and joy.
Just so I know again, to sign up again, run Napa to Sonoma.com.
Yes.
And if people want assistance with coaching and goal setting, the name of your website for that one is
FinishLineMoments.com.
FinishLineMoments.com.
And public speaking, I will come motivate the heck out of a group of people.
Get them all pumped up.
Absolutely.
Okay, so public speaking, coaching, and kind of goal setting and learning how to do that. FinishLineMoments.com. Coming also to a radio station near you any day.
done.
So there you are.
I like that.
After you've done that, after you have hired Gretchen to be the speaker, the keynote speaker at your conference, and she talked all about that sort of stuff, then go to SonomaValley.com for deals, special offers, events, and also find out about 100 days of winter wellness in Sonoma Valley. We want to see you here, whether you are a marathon runner, you're a half marathon runner, you're a 5K walker, or maybe you just walk around the block. We want to see you here.
Absolutely.
So, Gretchen, thanks for being on.
It's been a joy. Thank you.
And everyone, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Thank you.